Hey guys, Eric Lima here once again, presenting to you my YouTube show TPL, and I'm presenting to you episode 719 of the show. We're continuing the road to 40 Saga, the 90s edition. Last time I did this, last episode we did my top 10 personal favorite 90s singers and bands. This time around, it'll be my top 10 personal favorite 90s songs, and got a list. Listen. The 90s lists are a lot more tougher than the 80s lists I made. I mean, the 80s and 90s is my retro, my decade, and my decades, my retro memories. I mean, you're talking about from childhood to teenagehood to adulthood. I mean, as I grew and progressed, a lot of things in the 90s. I said that changed. Of course, me moving from a home that I lived for about 15 years, 14 and a half years, 15 years, to the new home in 95, and a lot of things have changed since I moved here. Obviously, new job, licenses, everything, driver's licenses, everything has happened and changed. But, however, we're going to continue on, and I'm turning 40 this year, as you know, in about 2 weeks from 2 weeks from tomorrow. In 2 weeks, I'll be 40 years old. So I gotta get these things out of the way, just in case. So it will be, like I said, so got my two final weeks to enjoy my 30s. So I'm turning 40, and it's very, very good. So here we go. As we know, my trusty TPL board. Oh, I love having this. It gives a new dynamic to the show, and I love it. So I can show off my lists and everything else, and you guys can pause it and study it. Okay, this is what he wrote here. This is what he wrote here. Okay, I get it. And then sometimes you give me feedback on it and all that. All right, it's my top 10 personal favorite 90s songs. Like the 90s lists are going to be a lot more difficult than the 80s lists because there are a lot more honorable mentions in the 90s. I grew up basically in the 90s, and here they are. And as you can see, there, check this out. Very interesting songs. Over the 90s, you had freestyle. You got hip hop and R&B in the beginning. Freestyle. I mean, the 80s pop almost went out. The pop came back around the mid 90s. Grunge became a huge. An alternative rock became huge in the mid 90s. And then you got the return of the boy bands, the girl bands, the pop music. And then you got the Latin movement as well. So the Latin music movement as well. And so it's a mishmash, shall we say, of all that. And let's go to my top 10 favorite. I should go to the honorable mentions before we get going. A lot of you are going to be shocked about the choices I made here, but you know what? Bear with me here. This is very, very difficult. Let's go to the honorable mentions. Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. It's on the soundtrack of Dangerous Minds. If you haven't seen, but I read the story about this. I think when I was in school, or in the early 90s, I believe, and I'm talking about a story. And they made a movie out of it, which is pretty cool. About his life growing up, about the songs about the tough life in the hood or something like that. And sometimes it kind of speaks volumes, And then let's go on from I mentioned one of these songs on the last episode with the singers and bands of the 90s. Say You'll Be Mine by Steps. I like that song. And here's a one-hit wonder. A few one-hit wonders back in the 90s and 80s as well. It's more of a Freak Like Me by Hedina Howard. I like the beat, like a little hip-hop beat. And you could, Bobby head like this or something like that. It's pretty cool. So Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys. I did karaoke to that song during one of my Ruby Tuesday celebrations back in the day. And Backstreet Boys, they did a cool version of the song, Larger Than Life. It's really awesome. Another one-hit wonder, No Diggity by Blackstreet, another hip-hop R&B type. Gonna get down, good Lord. No. I like the way you work it. No Diggity, got to bag it up. It's a pretty cool song. And a couple of songs. Now, ska is also became huge. Ska and swing music was making a comeback during the 90s as well. I forgot to mention that. So speaking, you got Brian Setzer used to be a member of the Stray Cats. He has his own orchestra, Jump Jive and You Well. I'm going to write that down. Another one was Zoot Suit Ride by Cherry Poppin' Daddies. A couple of honorable mentions I forgot to write on here. One I Got by Sublime. It's over like a little rock, a little ska, hip hop type deal. Another one, All Mixed Up by 311. That's another one hit wonder in my opinion. And another one, Get 'Em Out of Here by Sprung Monkey. That was another one. All right, Alanis Morissette. One of my favorite songs from her is You Learned, and I thought Ace of Base on this list as well. Lucky Love was one of my favorite songs. Lucky Love's another. Some of these songs you want to like you want to get in your car, you want to sing to it, sing around. People kind of look at you, give you funny looks or something like that. Like, well, screw them. Who cares? I'm here to have a good time. I'm gonna drive and have a good time. And listen, drugs and alcohol don't give you a good time, man. They cause problems. You just listen to music. Music's cool. Music's good. And the song that I talked about in the last episode, "Free Your Mind" by En Vogue, cool song ever. A little bit. And for the original was like a little rock and roll with a hip hop. I thought it was pretty cool. Rock and roll with hip hop, little guitar riff. Like almost like hip hop metal type thing. Like bang your head and do some moves at the same time. I'm getting this thing, man. Okay, let's go for the top 10 favorite 90s songs. Keep Your Heads Ringing by Dr. Dre. Now, if I was a wrestler and I was a heel, that would be my theme song if Dr. Dre would let us use it. So if I was a wrestler, professional wrestler, if I was a heel, Keep Your Heads Ringing, I'd be like with the hoodie. It's like, ready to box or something like that. Like, I keep my opponent's heads ringing by Dr. Dre. It's off the soundtrack of Friday. If you've seen the movie Friday, it's pretty funny, It's pretty funny. But I did not know former Barker's Beauty from The Price is Right, Kathleen Bradley, was in the movie as Ms. Parker. I'm like, that's Kathleen Bradley from The Price is Right? I didn't even know. Who knew that would be, she would be known as that, as Ms. Parker. Chris Tucker, that was the start of his career as well. And, Chris Tucker is like one of the funniest guys ever. Smokey, that's his name. He was pretty funny there. All right. All That Glitters is Gold by the Cover Girls. I like that one. That was pretty cool. A pretty cool song. It's all about, what's on the inside, but not what's on the outside. That was a cool song. Waterfalls is another song by TLC. Another song. I talked about this last episode, what the video was all about and stuff. And I thought, that was a cool stuff. Ricky Martin, I mentioned it. Most of the songs I mentioned were from the last episode, but they're on this list. Leaving La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin. We all lived a crazy life, my friend. And so is Ricky Martin. California Love by Tupac. I like the remix version of it by Machiavelli. So, all right. Number 5 was the song that I talked about, I think a few episodes back. Dare to Fall in Love, Brent Bourgeois. If you don't know the story, I'll reiterate it in the short term. I was cleaning up the front of the house of Ruby Tuesday. This is like back in the day when I think it was like in my beginning stages of working there at Ruby Tuesday. I've heard this song, and I remember one time I brought in my little recorder trying to record the song. But I want to know who sang it because it's a rare song. It's a rare song. Forgive me, I'm a little itchy. My finger's a little itchy here. So it's a rare song. So I asked everybody, my managers, and one of my managers, Phil, who's into music, do you know who sang that? He's like, oh no, he got some few guesses and all, but it didn't take me till the freaking internet that when I finally had a computer in 2009, I figured there was one, like I said, there's one lyric in the beginning, one kiss, dangerous drug. So I typed in those lyrics, boom, that's where the song came up, and it played on. Oh, cool, I found it, yes. So I finally found the song, and I have the CD for it. I got the MP3 for it. I'm cool with that. Number 4, Just for Tonight, Vanessa Williams. I first heard this song at the Silver City Galleria Mall. We were camping back in the day, and I'm like, and we back in the day, my family invited my ex-crush, her brother, and a friend of mine, Randy, to camping with us. And I think it was, we decided, it was raining one time. We decided, well, we're not that far from the Galleria. We'd go to the Galleria, and that song came on. Then my ex-crush right there. Couldn't believe it, Yeah, whatever. Well, moving on. Fly by Sugar Ray, another one of my favorite songs. So Sugar Ray had the ska thing going and everything else. It's I just want to fly. It was really cool. It's one of those songs you want to listen to. I did sing this song karaoke style. It was really, really cool. A lot of fun. All right, number 2, Two Princes by Spin Doctors. I thought it was an interesting song about, who do asking the girl who does she love, the guy who's rich or the guy who doesn't have a whole lot, and what does the father say and all that good stuff. So it's more like a typical romance story of the girl falls in love with a guy who's, her father does not like her, or you're not in love with a guy, or father wants to marry, something like that. It's one of those typical stories. But the beat was cool. The song, everything else. And the number one favorite song of the '90s, my personal favorite song. It's all my personal favorites. But the number one on the list, "Spice Up Your Life" by the Spice Girls. It's all about having fun, just dancing and having fun. That's what Spice Girls were all about. Pretty cool. So, so that's so that is it. All my personal favorite '90s songs, honorable mentions, and in my top 10 favorites. Like I said, these lists are not easy. They get harder and harder and harder and harder. And on the next episode of, where is on the next episode, the next two episodes, 720 and 721, top 10 wrestlers of the 90s for episode 720, and for 721, top 10 personal favorite 90s video games. These two lists were the toughest of the tough. I'm telling you right now. It's ridiculous and it's crazy. So, you want to know that? Please understand, these are my personal favorites. These not consensus and opinion. As far as I did not go out and do a survey. It's just my personal. The only thing I surveyed was my mind on this one. So it was. so that's the case. So let me. I'm just gonna erase this so I can finish it up here. So yep. It's a lot of fun, So it isn't easy, It's the list that we make is not easy to do in the world. So it's just you see. So these lists are complete. I wrote down on a piece of paper, and I wrote down there so I won't forget. Sometimes you memorize. Dang it! And so what? I don't play for the Celtics. So, like I said, top 10 favorite '90s wrestlers and tag teams on the next episode, and then on the episode after, top 10 favorite '90s video games. The video games one's a lot more tougher, believe me. Again, the majority of them are from Capcom as well, because Capcom makes some of the best games ever. I should have done a Capcom list, but you know what? There were a lot of other games I didn't want to leave out. This one's really tough, so like I said, it is a challenge. So, all right, so that is all the time we have on this show. Remember, use your heads, don't do stupid things, and remember, coolness is the essence of a happy person, and love and respect one another. And if you're having a bad day, take a pad, take a pen, pad, yeah. Take a pad and a pen and tell that bad day they just made the list. Okay? And I will see you on the next episode. Ciao. Get over here.